Emma worked at a coffee shop. She had been there for years. Every day she served coffee and dreamed of a different life. Emma wanted to make a difference. She wanted to leave her mark on the world, but she felt stuck. One day Emma went for a walk on the beach. The waves crashed against the shore. The salty air filled her lungs. She felt the sand between her toes. As she walked, Emma noticed something shiny in the sand. It was a coin, an old, worn coin. Emma picked it up and brushed it off. She held it in her hand, feeling its weight. It was heavier than she expected. It seemed to hum with a silent energy. Emma smiled. This was no ordinary coin. Emma turned the coin over in her hands. It was a silver dollar from decades ago. The face of a former prime minister stared back at her. He looked distinguished, important. Emma wondered about the journey of the coin. How many hands had held it? What had it been used to buy? She slipped the coin into her pocket. It felt warm against her skin. As she walked home, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that this coin was a sign. It was a sign to change her life. The next day at work, Emma couldn't stop thinking about the coin. She served coffee with a smile, but her mind was elsewhere. Her regulars noticed. "You seem different today, Emma," one woman said. "You have a sparkle in your eye." Emma laughed. "Do I?" she asked. "Maybe it's because I have a secret." She couldn't tell them about the coin, not yet. But she knew it was time to make a change. Emma started brainstorming. She thought about her passions. She loved art. And she loved her community. She wanted to create something that brought people together. That's when it hit her. She would open an art gallery. It wouldn't be easy. Emma would need money. She would need to find a space. She would need to convince artists to display their work, but she was determined. She had the coin, and she had a dream. Emma found a small storefront for lease. It was run down, but it had potential. She spent her savings on rent and renovations. She worked tirelessly, painting walls and fixing the floors. She convinced local artists to display their work. She even talked to the local newspaper. The grand opening of Emma's art gallery was a success. People from all over the community came. They admired the art. They talked to the artists. They connected with each other. Emma was happy. She had created something special. The gallery thrived. It became a hub for the community. It hosted art exhibitions. It hosted workshops. It hosted concerts. Emma was no longer just a barista. She was a businesswoman. She was a community leader. And most importantly, she was happy. One day, while working at the gallery, Emma reached into her pocket. Her fingers brushed against the old coin. She took it out and examined it. It was worn and faded, but it still held its power. It reminded her of how far she had come, and it reminded her of what was truly important. It wasn't the money, it wasn't the fame, it was the risk she took. It was the people she helped. It was the community she built. That was true wealth, and that was something money could never buy.